Hi everybody, thanks for tuning in for another episode of Jana Eats. It's gluten and casein-free cooking. It's delicious. Your whole family can like it, whether or not they're compromised with their food allergies. I started this YouTube channel for folks that have been touched by autoimmune and autism, because sometimes it's really tough to figure out what to eat. So here we go. I'm gonna teach you how to make one of the most delicious, tried and true things. It's called a clementine cake. It's gluten-free. It does have eggs in it, but no dairy. And it's kind of indestructible. It's not tough at all to make, and you're gonna love it. So I start out, and this is a little tip, I buy those bags of clementines and tangerines, and I do it at Costco or any store. You know, they've got those net bags of, what are they called? Cuties. That's it. Thanks, Hillary. So anyway, I take them and I boil all of them. You're going to boil the tangerine whole. Yes, you heard me, people, whole. See this squishy little thing? This has been boiled whole for 45 minutes. So you're going to fill a pot with water, put all the tangerines in, and you're going to boil those for 45 minutes. And then you can take those boiled tangerines, and once they're cool, what I do is I put 6 to 7 in Ziplocs, zip it up, label it, and I freeze them. So then when I'm ready to make a cake, I got all, that hour out of the way. So, and the other thing is this cake freezes beautifully. So you can also boil the tangerines, make a bunch of cakes, and then freeze them too. So anyway, we're going to get on with this. This comes together in a food processor really easily. So I'm going to start with almonds. They need to be unsalted. They can be roasted or they can be raw, either one. If you roast the almonds, it gives it like a little bit more of a toasty umami flavor. So you can do that, but if you're short on time like me today, do the almonds. You're going to put the almonds in first. I like to do the dry ingredients because the wet ones mess up this bowl. And so I do the dry ones first, put them in a little bowl, and then do the wet. So it's going to be, come to mama. It's going to be, oh, I'm very precise. This is why I'm a lousy baker. I admit it. Too suave. 1, 2, see, they're escaping. It's 2 1/3 cups, so there's a third. And then you're going to put a cup of sugar in with the nuts. Now, the beauty of adding the sugar is that the nuts will not turn into nut butter. So you put a cup of sugar there. I was precise there. In there. And then because I'm doing the dry ingredients, I'm also going to put a heaping teaspoon of this baking powder. It's labeled gluten-free, this brand, and anyway, so how about a big fat, again, I'm such a precise baker, but you can see how forgiving this recipe is, so you're gonna love it. So, okay, so I'm gonna put this on, and I'm gonna blend this to a flour type consistency, and we'll show that to you. Let me get this going. Sorry for the noise. A little pulsing never hurts. Okay. So you can see the flour-like consistency of this. And if there's some chunks in it, so what? A little nut never hurt anybody. Oops. I like to, here's something I do. I take the little edge of this and get all the little stuck nubbins in the corners. Next, we're gonna put, now this is 7 tangerines. I do 6 or 7. And then we're gonna do, I'm gonna do about half, because sometimes it overflows. That's a teaspoon of vanilla. Okay, let's see if this overflows. We're going live, people. Beautiful. You can see how quickly that this just comes together. really easily. Then in you go. This cake is not too sweet. And the beauty of that is you can do it for breakfast. It's not too sweet, so it's great with a cup of coffee or tea. And then it's also great for dessert. And a lot of times I'll pair this with chocolate, whether it's ice cream or chocolate sauce. I'm even gonna put some little chocolate chips. I love this Lily's brand chip because it's sugar-free and it's stevia sweetened, and you'll never ever miss the sugar. So I like that. But you can put cacao nibs in here or chocolate syrup on top. So I'm gonna mix this together. So the other thing too is, so this goes into a spring form pan. On the spring form pan, and I baked one off already. Yes, I plan ahead. So you're gonna spray the spring form pan and line the bottom with a little parchment. So, but I'm gonna make little cupcakes today, and what a great thing. You can put them in the kids' lunches or a little snack, and it's portioned. But this cake popped out of this spring form pan, wrapped in plastic and frozen. It's good for 6 months. I kind of wanted to show you my coconut oil greasing technique. I mean, I know it's not earth-shattering, but anyway. And I usually do this in the sink because it's a spray, but I'm gonna do it right now. I just put a little boop in the pup. See that? So the next thing I'm gonna do is, because it's gonna be easier to fill these tiny muffin tins. Otherwise, you know, you can just pour it. Just pour, I like a spout, but you know. So I'm just gonna fill these, and you're gonna fill them pretty full. And then I go back in and I make sure they're all kind of equally full. You're gonna heat your oven to 375, and these tiny muffins are going to bake in about 12 minutes. If you do a big cake, it'll take about 45. So definitely have your cake tester, because that'll be your determinant. But and if the filling, depending on the size of your spring form, if the cake's thicker, it'll take longer, obviously. And sometimes it just takes 30 minutes. But the recipe's on the website, janaeats.com, and you can check that. Now's the time. If you wanted to add the chocolate, you could put some chocolate chips on top of these. The other thing, if you're making a whole cake, just fold it into the batter. And then you've got this chocolate through the orange. I love chocolate and orange together. We'll be back, and I'll show you the finished product. Okay, we're back. They're out of the oven. I know I say this all the time, but I wish we had smell-o-vision, because it smells so orangey and delicious in here. So they're out of the oven. They're perfect little cupcakes. They're gonna peel beautifully because we squirted the liners with a little coconut oil. They're too hot to eat, but I'm gonna make Kyle and Hillary have one of these. They don't need butter. They really don't need anything. They're just so moist and fabulous. And FYI, this recipe, if you're doing the tiny muffin tins, I only had 3, so that made 36 plus 12 regular size muffins, and those are in the oven now. Or it makes 1 gigundo cake. Tell me how you like it. And then come back and watch next week's episode, because it's going to be delicious too. And while you're at it, I would so love it if you would subscribe to my YouTube channel, Jana Eats, so I can keep making delicious gluten and dairy-free treats for all.